The week of eating out, I loved it. I did not have to cook. I did not have to clean. Having a healthy cooked home meal, it's definitely the way to go. If I went to a fancy restaurant, sit down, have a drink, meal, appetizer.
Hi, I'm Yaji. I'm from a small town in China, and I always dreamed of a better life. So I left everything behind. After 10 years of dedication and hard work, I began to build a life that I love. Welcome to my world. I'm grateful for how far I've come, and I can't wait to share my journey with you.
Hi, what's up guys? In the past 2 weeks, I did experiment eating in versus eat out. And in this video, I would like to compare the cost and convenience. And of course, I would like to share some personal feelings during this experiment so you can save some energy and effort on deciding whether you should eat in or eat out. Let's get started. First, let's talk about the convenience. Of course, no doubt, eating out would be way more convenient than eating in. Eating out, you basically grab and go, and that's it. And eating in, you basically have to think what you want to cook and then do groceries and chopping, prep, and all those kind of things, and then cook, eat, and then cleaning. It just is so time consuming. And based on my experience, the week of eating out, I loved it. I did not have to cook. I did not have to clean, like nothing. I was able to after work and do a little bit of homework, and I was just on the couch watching Netflix. How great is that? Although I didn't feel so good of eating out so many meals. After each meal, I just feel like it's a little heavy. It doesn't digest so well. However, it is very, very convenient that I don't have to think about anything after I finish a meal. For example, when I go to the office, after I have lunch, I just throw it out. I don't have to carry a heavy lunch bag. I can just go back to work and all that. It's amazing. Eating out, it's amazing convenience-wise. Let's talk about the cost. So for breakfast, I normally have Tim Hortons or McDonald's. We're in Canada. So Tim Hortons and McDonald's is more on a cheaper version for breakfast, or just in general meal-wise. Also, it's very fast. So you're looking at around $10 for a whole breakfast meal combo. So include a little sandwich and then hash brown and then coffee. And maybe sometimes you can have a donut for a late morning dessert or snack or something. So for lunch, I had a Chipotle, I had a Thai Express, I had a Shanghai 360. So they are fast food franchise. You're looking at around $15 per meal. That's without a drink. So we're not getting any water, we're not getting any drink when we order a meal. It's just a meal. So it's like whether a bowl of noodles or a bowl of rice, with some veggies and proteins and stuff. So for dinner, it's a little bit more expensive. We're looking at average $25 per meal. We actually went to the restaurant and sit down. However, the restaurant that we went, it's not like a fancy high-end restaurant. That's why the meals were a lot cheaper. Plus, we went as two people, so as a couple. So for example, we went for a soup dumpling. The meal came up with around $40. But then we had little desserts. We had gelato. It was $8.46. So close to $9. But then the other day I went for pho, so per person it's $24.46. And then the other night we ordered pizza, so it turns out it's $21.61 per person. So just to average it out, we're looking at $25 per meal for dinner. So this can give you an idea per day. We are spending one person for $50. So the whole week it would be around $350. It's a lot cost-wise. Although I don't think I actually have people eat out every single meal. I don't know anyone that eat out every single meal. And what I'm eating here, it's like what I'm getting here, it's actually on a cheaper version, because if I went to a fancy restaurant, sit down, have a drink, meal, appetizer, that would come up with like 70 bucks. Yeah, including tax and tips and everything. I'm literally only getting one meal. Like, this not include any drink or any dessert, any appetizer. It's basically just like a bowl of like, it came up $50 a day. In my opinion, very expensive. I more so like to save money. Okay, next is groceries. So the other day, I went to a Chinese supermarket. As you can see, a lot of stuff from Chinese supermarket can last us a while. So for $70 one time and actually having food, not food, like sauce or like noodles and stuff can last us for like almost a half a year. I think it will worth it. It well worth it. Well worth it. And then we went to Superstore, which is a Western supermarket. We spent $109.26. So yeah, so the whole week we spent around $180. However, we're not even finished all of them. So a lot of them can actually carry for 3 months at least. Let's say the sauce that we bought from Chinese supermarket, and then the noodles, and then from the Western store, what's it called? The eggs can actually last us 2 weeks, and the coffee cream can last us like a month-ish. Like, it just, all those like things can last us very long time. So normally a grocery load for that week, the meat, the veggies, and some carbs, you can look at $40 to $50. But yeah, so I personally think cost-wise, eating in is definitely a winner, but eat out is just so convenient. Also, for eating in, it's very time consuming because we have to make the meal, and then we have to meal prep for the next day to bring it. And every time we go to the office, we have this huge lunch bag because we're feeding in breakfast, lunch, and then drink and like snacks and just all this kind of stuff. Sometimes it's not ideal, but most of the time, financial wise, it's definitely worth it to put the time and effort, cook the meal, and try to save some money. And I personally think you can save a lot of money by eating in. So I encourage you definitely eating in more than eating out. However, after this experiment, I'm not so against of eating out, because I remember there were times that I was very against of eating out just because how expensive it is. Turns out, like, if we're only looking for a very convenient meal, let's say $15 for lunch, I think sometimes we should do it, and we should just treat ourselves just by not having not spending like 2 hours to meal prep, or like even 3-4 hours meal prep on Sunday. So yeah, I think we are going to have a mixed eating in and eating out in our lifestyle. Finally, I think everyone should have a lifestyle that suits them. However, just in general, I don't recommend people eat out very often, just based on my experience. After having Tim Hortons, McDonald's breakfast a couple of days in a row, I don't feel so good after my breakfast. But in my opinion, having a really good, healthy breakfast is the start of your day. Like, I don't really feel energetic after eating out a couple of days, and I feel very heavy, and my stomach is not like working as the same as before, because I always had a home cooked meal. So like, I know what to expect, and I had a very good routine. So like, just by eating out and having all those like over processed food, it's definitely a little different, like body wise, or just inside and in general, like how I feel. So so like after this experiment, although like I do want to consider eating out and eating in my lifestyle just for the convenience wise, but I don't really suggest that people eat out very often. Not just cost wise, also for your own health. Having a healthy cooked home meal, it's definitely the way to go. Self-correction, our weekly grocery bill, it's around $70, including meat, 3 types of meat, veggies, fruit, snacks. Sometimes we get eggs, yogurt and stuff, like sometimes we don't. It depends if we have it. $70.